How's it going, guys? Randall aka Shizukatz here on the Tressa's Collectibles channel, and today we're going to be bringing you guys a product opening for the newly released Fake Grand Order Camelot set. Now this is the second set in Weiss Schwarz for Fake Grand Order, with the first one being the Babylonia set, and this second set is based on the Camelot movie. Now before we get into cracking open these boxes, there are a few things that you will want to know about this set compared to the first Babylonia set. So with the first set, we had cards that were based around the traits Chaldea and Babylonia, such as on this 1-0 Mashu. And in the second set, the cards are mainly based around the Camelot trait while also still supporting Chaldea trait. As a result of this, the cards between the two sets are not really super playable with each other. Obviously, the Chaldea cards, they do overlap, and you are able to use those to some extent within either deck, but because of the trait differences, a lot of the cards just aren't compatible between the two. Now this can be both a pro and a con. Obviously, not being able to use the two sets cards between each other to their maximum potential can be seen as a con, but a big pro of this is that you can basically build decks using only cards from this set, so you don't have to hunt down any of those old cards from set 1. Now, before we get into our box opening, of course, we do have to show off this beautiful case topper playmat. And as this is of the stitched variety, you will only be getting one of these playmats per case. And with that out of the way, let's get right into the opening. All right, guys, let's get into opening our first of our two booster boxes that we will be opening today. So, as far as the high rarity cards in this set goes, there are two varieties. There is the there's the SPs, as well as a rarity that is exclusive to the Camelot set, which is the RTR. That stands for Round Table Rare, and the Round Table Rares go to the Knights of the Round Table, so Mordred, Gawain, Lancelot, those characters. Now, cracking open into our first box, you will get, of course, one out of a few box topper promos. In this case, we got the level 0 Hassan. This is both a drop salvage as well as having an ability when you place a gate climax, you get to give one of your opponent's characters in the front row minus 1,000 power until end of turn. So a very good utility card, but also keeping with the theme of some of the Hassan cards in the set, or really just a lot of assassin characters in general, where they get to subtract power from your opponent's characters. That's something that's not just unique to this set, but Fate in general, to be honest. So for our packs, of course, we are getting our 16 booster packs. And let's get right into our first pack. So, going into the Camelot set, compared to the first Babylonia set, we will be seeing a lot of characters, a lot of new characters from this arc, although we will still see the Chaldea characters such as Mashu and Da Vinci and Ritska. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these cards. So of course we have the Knights, so we have Bedivere. We also have the Pharaoh characters such as Nitocris and Ozymandias. So we have level 0 Nitocris here. And of course Mashu, big fan favorite among the community. And for our first uncommon of the box, this is actually a very important card for a lot of the strategies in this set. So this has a pretty ordinary effect of looking at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck and picking a Chaldea or Camelot character from among them, adding it to your hand and sending the rest to waiting room. But it does have some nice bonuses and synergies on top of that. So first of all, you need to have a Lion King character in order to play this card, but as an added bonus, you get to choose one of your Knights of the Round Table characters that doesn't have a marker. You get to put the event underneath that character as a marker and give it 1,000 power until end of turn. And this can be synergized with various cards from the set, ones that need markers, or also it contributes to some of the flavor of the set as well, which hopefully we will get to see in some of our later cards. So we have Sanzo as well. And moving on to our first rare of the box, we have the level 0 Ozymandias. This is a global clock encore to all of your other Pharaoh trait characters. This is something that we've seen something similar to this in previous sets of the Fate series, such as with the level 0 Shiro giving all master characters clock encore, as well as the level 0 Rin giving all Rins and archers clock encore. And this card, being able to give all of your Pharaoh characters clock encore, that is Ozymandias as well as Nitocris cards, can be very powerful, allowing you to maintain card advantage during the early game. And this is definitely an important card that you're going to want to be playing in a green-based deck with a lot of Ozzy and Nitocris cards. In addition, he also has an effect that activates when you trigger a gold bar climax, allowing you to discard a card and fix your hand, grab something from clock. This is an ability that we've seen in regular Fate on the level 0 Soccer Brainstorm. So as that green deck is very focused around gold bars, this is a very, very powerful card that contributes a lot to that deck's main strategies. All right. Let's take a look what we have here. We have some really cool Chaldea cards that can help support some of the strategies from the previous set. So be sure to look out for those as well. And for our first double R of our box, we have the level 0 Mashu. This is a runner, free runner, as well as she has an on-attack ability where when she attacks, if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you get to choose any of your characters and give it plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So it's a pretty nice card if you're looking for a plussing 0 that also scales really well throughout the mid game. With that 2,000 power boost, so even if your front row is completely full, you can't really utilize that runner effect anymore. You can still utilize that 2k buff, and this is one of the Chaldean cards that can really give you a boost to your set 1 decks, as she doesn't have anything that's really trait restricted in her own text, and you can just kind of splash her into those old decks. Really, really nice card. We have a 2k counter Ritska. We have a Lion King Vanilla. Obviously, when you see vanillas these days in Weiss Schwarz, they do have some cards that have some nifty synergies, and this card is no exception. And for our rare of the pack, we have another runner actually. We have the level 0 Bedivere. He is a mill runner. If you mill a Chaldea or Camelot character, you can move him to an empty slot in your front row. And in addition, he has on play, you can look at the top card of your deck and leave it on top or send it to waiting room. So, one of the few good plussing 0s that you have access to in the Camelot set. Hopefully we'll run into some of the other ones so we can take a look at those. We have, moving on to our third pack, we do have some resonate abilities in this set as well that we'll want to keep a lookout for, because some of those are quite interesting. And Bedivere level 3, despite being an uncommon, is actually a card that we're going to want to keep on the side and come back to look at later, as this has a double climax combo with another card that we're going to want to take a look at down the line. We have Mashu's level 2 killer, and for our rare of the pack, we have the level 0 Lion King support. So she's a global 500, as well as when she's placed on stage from hand, you can mark her the top card of your deck, and then you can send the marker from underneath her to the waiting room to give one of your other characters 1,000 power until the end of the turn. And she also has a flavor ability where all of your other Knight of the Round Table characters that have markers get gift trait. This is, of course, referencing the Ritual of Holy Selection, where when you put this underneath one of your Knight of the Round Table characters as a marker, they are getting the gift from the Lion King. Really nice flavor how they implement that. Okay, moving on to our next pack. We have one of the level 2 standby targets for the set, actually a 2/3 with 3 soul, being able to potentially deal a lot of damage to your opponent if he's able to stick around. He does not have Encore like usual standby targets do, but if you're able to keep him around, he can definitely do a lot of damage. Okay. We have one of my personal favorite cards in the set, the Sanzo level 0 Drop Search. This is a really, really neat card. Being able to shuffle 2 cards back from your waiting room into your deck into her drop search, so you can shuffle back something that you want to search out of your deck. And she also has some really neat tricks with the level 3 Lion King, which is basically the flagship top end for this set. And as you guys saw, we do have our first foil of the box. We have, I believe this is the Arash Climax for the Arash level 0. So hopefully we'll be able to showcase that as well alongside our foil. So let's go ahead and get a sleeve on this real quick. A lot of the alternate arts for this set are honestly really pretty, and they have some really, really neat foil patterns as well. You can't really see that super well on the camera probably, but it does look very, very nice. And going ahead and finishing off the rest of the pack, we have the 2/1 Ozymandias. This is a card that supports his level 3 RR that maybe we will pull down the line. And he also has an alarm ability that potentially allows you to get a blind stock if you have 4 or more green or Chaldea characters when he's on top of clock at the start of your climax phase. This is an ability that we've seen previously on cards like the 2/1 Himari from Bangry. Alright, let's see what else we can get. Here we have another Hassan card. This one, unlike the promo that we got that minuses power, this one actually just allows you to straight up kill one of your opponent's characters in the front row by, on one of your turns you can rest her to get a marker, and then you can sack the marker when she attacks in order to kill one of your opponent's front row level 0 or lower characters. Unfortunately, it's a bit slow, so this card doesn't see a whole lot of play, but definitely fits in with the flavor. And just as I say the flavor, we have another one that allows you to, when this is in rest position, all characters on both player sides of the field that do not have Fujimaru, Arash, or Hassan in their card names get minus 500 power. So another way to subtract power from cards on the opponent's field. And for our rare, we have the Nidokris Early Play Healer. This is a pretty easy card to use. The field condition is just having 4 characters on stage with Chaldea or Camelot trait, and she is a 10k healer. So just a very, very easy card to use. If you're running green, you could definitely consider splashing this card into your deck. We have the Da Vinci Climax combo that allows you to give one of your opponents, or give one of your characters on reverse search when you play her Climax, in addition to being a level assist. And no double R in this pack. So far we've only seen one double R, and we're actually almost through this half of the box. And here we have our level 1 Nidokris combo, allowing you to stock charge from your waiting room with her Climax combo. And she also inherently gets Twin Drive if all of your characters are green or Chaldea trait. So pretty nice card if you want to pay out stock on the fly. And funny thing is that usually Twin Drive effects, you use them to pay out climaxes on the fly, but because the green deck usually uses gold bar triggers, you're usually paying out like blind stock instead of paying out climaxes. So you can use this effect to pay out the blind stock, make sure your stock is all clean, as well as at the same time potentially triggering more gold bars, which you can then either keep in your hand to play on following turns, or you could discard them with effects like the Aussie level 0 that we pulled earlier. All right, let's take a look-see still. Okay, here we go. Here's our next double R. So this Hassan has an Honorverse Rize effect for Chaldea or Camelot, as well as on play, you get to choose one of your opponent's characters in the front row, and it gets minus 1,000 power until the end of the turn. That minus 1,000 power definitely useful against certain matchups to just straight up remove cards from the board. So if your opponent is playing cards that, for example, go to memory, so an example of this could be like maybe in the Hololive set, there's some Nene cards that want to go to memory when they get reversed, and those cards only have 500 power. So if you could play a card like Hassan, send them straight to waiting room and make sure that your opponent is not able to get those memory conditions, sometimes this card can come in really clutch in that respect. And even if you're not blowing up cards and just removing them from the field completely, that minus 1,000 power can still be super helpful. And of course, you always have that Honorverse Rize effect, that very useful utility to fall back on. That's at minimum what this card can do. So a really, really good card. And for our rare, we have the level 3 Da Vinci. This is actually a really funny card, being able to go to memory through the effects of one of your other cards, and then when you're at level 3, you can pay the cost while she's in memory to bring her out onto the stage and get a heal off. So pretty neat card. And for our last pack of this half of the box, let's see what we got here. Looks like no double R here. We have the level 1 Agravain though. We have the 1/1 Lancelot, pretty much the main standby target to bring out at level 1 if you're choosing to play a standby build. He's just a very ordinary but effective 7500 hand encore. We have the Sanzo level 1. When you play any climax and she reverses her battle opponent, you can put the top card of your deck into stock. So definitely a very splashable option. And it really helps that the level 1 combos that you typically want to be running in this set do not require reverses. So if you want to splash this card in order to maybe get some extra stock off of your opponent's characters, off of reversing your opponent's characters, you can go ahead and do that. And she's not really fighting your main level 1 game plan for those reverses. And for our last rare of this half, we have the level 2 Lion King. This is a support card that's very similar to the Rhodesia package from HoloLive's Gen 4 trial deck, being able to rest herself and one specific other character to bring out a level 3 early. And so hopefully we'll be able to pull that entire package so we can take a look at those cards. All right, second half of the pack, we have a pretty popular 2/2 standby target. He's an 11k encore if your opponent has 2 characters in their back row. Not the greatest condition when it relies on your opponent's board, but the power ceiling being 11k and still having encore is quite high, which makes him a very popular option. And moving along in the pack, we have the level 0 Da Vinci Climax Swap. This is actually an exact reprint of the level 0 Mashu Climax Swap from the first set. So if you are a fan of Da Vinci and you want to play the Da Vinci Climax Swapper instead of the Mashu from the first set, you can go ahead and do that even in your first set based Chaldea Babylonia decks. We have Evening Bell. This is a pretty interesting event. Basically, it makes it so that when two of your characters, when your character and your opponent's character battle, whichever character comes out on top, that player gets to get an on-reverse salvage and also sends the battle opponent to the top of the opponent's deck. Pretty interesting card. Can be a bit risky if you're not playing carefully with this though. And then for our rare, we have the 3/2 Lancelot. It has a standby combo, allowing you to shuffle some cards back into your opponent's deck and give himself 2k1, and it's on a standby, interestingly. So typically on a standby level 3, you usually expect to see either some sort of like burn combo or maybe standing himself when he gets placed off of the standby, but this card is quite different. So pretty interesting card, but if you want to run a standby based deck, this is the level 3 combo that you could potentially play. Okay, moving right along, we have our second foil, the 3/2 early play Nidokris that we pulled earlier, just with the foil version. So we can go ahead and take a look at both of these now, as they do have slightly alternate arts. Go ahead and take a look at that. And I think it's very appropriate that the foil pattern is just like a bunch of triangles on this card. It has a feeling of like of pyramids, in my opinion. So yeah, very appropriate for Nidokris, seeing as she is a Pharaoh trait character. And for our rare, we have another very important rare in the set. This is definitely a rare that you're going to want to be looking out for if you are playing a Camelot deck. So this is a tap self salvage Brainstorm, and in addition, when he is placed on stage from hand, or one of your other Knight of the Round Table characters is placed on stage from hand, you get to peek at the top card of your deck. And the reason this card is so important is because it goes with the level 2 Lion King that we just pulled earlier. you need exactly these 2 cards in order to activate the Lion King level 2's effect to potentially bring out a level 3 Lion King straight from your hand onto the board while still at level 2. And one more really neat thing about this particular Agravain is that he does have a third effect that says when your card is put underneath him as a marker, he actually forces you to send all of those markers to the waiting room. And so this is actually another flavor, another piece of flavor with the Ritual of the Holy Selection, as Agravain does reject the gift from the Lion King. So basically, he's just saying that you cannot put a marker under this card because he rejects the gift. Really, really neat flavor about this card. All right, we've still got 3 double R's to go, I believe. So hopefully, let's see if we can pull some really nice cards. Hopefully the Lion King level 3 that we were just looking at. Okay, this is actually one of my favorite cards in the set, just from a meta standpoint, from a playability standpoint. So this card, when it's placed on stage from hand, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a Chaldea or Camelot character, you can marker it underneath him. And if he has a marker, he becomes a level 1 bomb. Now, normally, obviously, this is only able to kill level 1 or lower characters, but with his third effect, when he front attacks, you can pay 1 stock, choose one of your opponent's characters, and subtract it by 1 level. And so this allows you to potentially kill your opponent's level 2 characters. So if you're in a standby matchup, this can be a very, very useful card from getting rid of powerful 2/2s, such as the 2/2 Ghislaine in the ever-popular Mushoku Tensei deck. And with that top check marker ability, this can also be very useful when combined with the Lion King level 3, as you can, in the late game, you can look at the top card of your deck, and then if it's a high level card, you can just leave it on top and then attack with the Lion King and get a powerful burn with her on attack effect. And in addition, you can just put that marker underneath him to make artificial 5-card brainstorms. So this card is very, very versatile and a really, really useful card in this set overall, in my opinion. All right, and we do have our next double R in this pack. We have the level 3 Aussie. He is an on-play heal with a climax combo that lets you clock shoot and burn 2 to your opponent. And while he does sit at a pretty modest 9k power, he does actually have ways to gain a whole bunch of power through the level 2 Ozymandias that we took a look at earlier. So by himself, he's only 9k, but Ozzy level 2 has an effect where you can take this card standing, put it underneath him face up as a marker, and while he has a marker underneath him, he gains a continuous 6,000 power, bringing him up to 15k on either player's turn. So he can be a very, very high power card when combined with his level 2. And for our rare, we have the 3/2 Mashu. She actually has the same set of effects as the 3/2 Fubuki from the Gamers Trial deck, I believe. I was trying to remember which of the 2 trial decks, but yeah, definitely the Gamers Trial deck, where at the start of the opponent's turn, if she's in your front row, you get to choose one of your characters, give it 4,000 power, but also when she attacks, she can pay 1, discard 1, and gain 2k power and on reverse burn until end of turn. So she protect and she attack and she smile back. So she's definitely a very cute card and a very good card. And definitely, in my opinion, a pretty good option that you could choose to run in a standby based deck. You can bring her out at level 2 if you want to play a bit more of a defensive game at level 2 against a deck that can potentially pose a very high power threat. All right, let's see, where are our last few double R's in the box. Here we have the level 0 Lion King, Gawain and Lion King. So this is an event bonder for the 1/0 ritual event. Just very simple on play, discard a card, grab that ritual event from your waiting room, and add it back to your hand. And actually, one really neat thing about the Agravain Brainstorm is that when you do put the event as a marker underneath him, and then Agravain immediately sends it back to the waiting room, if you did not have another copy of the event in your waiting room, you wouldn't be able to pick it back up with the Lion King event bonder. But because Agravain sends it right back to waiting room, if you need to use multiple events in a row, but you only have one there, you can go ahead and use this level 0 Lion King and Gawain card to just get it right back and use it again. Okay. And here we do have our next double R, which is the level 3 Bedivere. So this is actually a card that is very similar to the level 3 Mashu early play from first set. Both of them have an early play condition of having 2 or less climaxes in your waiting room. They both on play discard 1 heal to stock, but the difference between the two is how they gain their power. So Mashu gains 1,000 power for each of your characters in your back row, while this Bedivere gains 1,000 for each of the opponent's characters in the back row. And obviously they both also have the difference of the traits, Bedivere being a Camelot One Ring Knight, and then Mashu being a Chaldea Shielder. But yeah, definitely a good card. Between the Bedivere and the 3/2 Nidocris that we looked at earlier, those are 2 of the early play healer options that you have in the set. There is, of course, the 3/2 Morgrid as well, which hopefully we can take a look at. But you have some pretty good early play healing options in the set overall. For a rare, we have 3/2 Hassan. There are so many Hassans in the set, I just cannot keep track of them all. But this is a pretty interesting card that makes it so that neither player can use Encore. So if you're against a deck that you really just want to just get their cards off the board, you can go ahead and do that. And then when he's placed on stage from hand, he also subtracts 4,500 power from one of your opponent's characters until end of turn. So really, really good card against decks such as 3/2 Rhodesia, where those Rhodesias, they really want to stick around and use their climax combos turn after turn after turn. This is the perfect card to get rid of them if you're looking to play into a lot of Hololive decks, especially those popular Rhodesia builds. All right, we have our climax in the middle. We have the Arash one, the Arash climax. So that means this one, I'm actually not 100% sure which climax this was. Let's go ahead and check real quick. Oh, it was the Bedivere climax, actually. So this is actually the climax that goes with the level 3 Bedivere as well as the level 1 Bedivere. So hopefully we can pull that level 1. We can take a look at this entire package in its entirety, because there are these are some pretty really powerful cards overall. For our rare, we have level 1 Mashu. Climax combo, very simple on reverse salvage effect. Okay. Second to last pack of the box. And looks like we do have our last double R. We have the Da Vinci Brainstorm and the Gawain combo. So first let's take a look at the Da Vinci Brainstorm. So this is actually the same set of effects as many brainstorms that we've seen throughout many sets in Weiss Schwarz. So the most prominent one would probably be the level 0 Remy from Bang Dream Girls Band Party set 1. Just a very simple brainstorm, rest self, salvage brainstorm, and then at the beginning of your climax phase, you get to give one of your characters 500 power. We've also seen this set of abilities in sets like Card Captor Sakura. We've seen this in Mob Psycho 100. It's just a very simple but effective set of abilities for a card that's going to be sitting in your back row for a lot of the game. And for our second to last rare, we have the Gawain level 1. This is a climax combo with a choice climax, which is this one right here, the Excalibur climax. And so he lets you salvage a character on attack based on the number of markers he has underneath him. And so the way you can get markers, obviously, would be the Ritual of Holy Selection event. So the more markers you have underneath your characters, the higher level characters he gets to salvage. And in addition, if he has a marker underneath him, he gains power based on the number of cards in your clock. So if you have 3 or less, he gets 3,000, and if you have 3 or more, he gets 3,000 power. But if you have exactly 3, he gets plus 6,000 power, bringing him up to 9k before climax, 10k with climax. And so obviously this isn't something that you're aiming for necessarily, but there's actually a Gawain card that lets you modulate the number of cards in your clock in order to try to reach that exact 3 cards in clock in order to turn on this massive power spike. All right, and then for our last pack of the first box, for our rare, we have the level 1 Bedivere. This is actually I guess, a third part of the Bedivere package where he can actually just grab the gate climax from your waiting room, put it into your climax area so that you can use it for your other combos. All right, so this concludes our first box. Just to go ahead and recap on what we pulled. So for our foils, we did get the Bedivere Triple R Climax as well as the 3-2 Nitocris early play. And for our double Rs, we have the level 0 Mashu Runner as well as the Da Vinci. Both cards that you could put very easily into your set 1 decks. So if you're a set 1 player just looking to get some subtle upgrades to your deck, go ahead and look into picking these up. As for the new Camelot set cards, we have the level 0 Hassan, level 3 Ozymandias combo, and the level 3 Bedivere early play. So let's get into our second box. We're going to go ahead and clean up with a quick transition, and we'll get right into box number 2. All right, guys, getting into our second box. So far, we have pulled 5 of the 10 possible double Rs in the set. So hopefully we can pull as many of the other 5 as possible, although we're really looking out for the 3-2 Lion King as our chase double R of the set. Now, as far as the high rarity cards go, the cards like the SPs and the round table rares, so there are 7 possible SPs that you can pull and 5 round table rares. And so you will be getting, within a sealed case, you will be getting both of those rarities. You will be seeing both SPs and round table rares. So let's first take a look at our promo for our second box. It's just a very simple 3500 Lion King beat stick. Not the most exciting card, but she does have that Lion King name, which can be potentially very important for allowing you to use your 1-0 event. Although most of the cards that people are going to be playing that have Lion King the name are going to be cards like the level 0 back row, as well as the event bonder itself, the Gawain and Lion King, that allows you to discard 1 card, get that event back into your hand. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem to have Lion King name on your board. But if you're looking for some extra level 0 options, you can potentially look into running the level 0 Lion King promo. Let's get right into our second box, and starting it out with just an ordinary pack. We have our 1-0 Gawain that we saw from the last box. And if I do spot that level 0 Gawain that lets you modulate the number of cards in your clock, or at least I believe it was a level 0, I will definitely point that out to you guys. Oh, actually, it wasn't a level 0, it was this one. So yeah, this card has a Resonate ability with the level 1 event. At the beginning of your climax phase, you can reveal the event, choose up to 2 Chaldea or Camelot characters in your clock, put them into memory, and give himself 1k power until end of turn. And then at the end of the turn, you get to choose 2 characters from your memory and put them back at the bottom of your clock in any order. So this allows you to modulate the number of cards in your clock for the Gawain to potentially hit that 3 cards in clock and get that 6k power boost. It's a little bit cheesy, but it's definitely something that you could try playing. And this 1-0, funnily enough, does have a soul trigger, which means that you are able to pick it up off of choice climaxes or send it to stock off of choice climaxes, which is exactly what the Gawain combo is, a choice climax. All right, we have, of course, the Ritual of Holy Selection event again, and for our rare, we have the 1-0 Mashu climax combo. Okay, do we have a double R? We do not. We have Mashu Vanilla. And for our rare, all right, cool. Here's another strong early play option that you can choose to play in your deck, the level 3 Mordred, and she can be early played if you have, or if your opponent has a level 3 or higher character, which is very common these days in Weiss Schwarz. Pretty much everybody is playing early plays at level 2, and she heals on play and has a power ability that during your turn, if you have either the level 0 Lion King support or the level 2 Lion King support, she gets plus 4,000 power during your turn. Really, really powerful card. This is actually a card that initially I thought you needed both on stage, and so Initially, I thought that this wasn't nearly as good of a card, but when I found out that you only needed one of the two, my opinion of this card just went way up. So my bad on that. But yeah, definitely a very powerful card that you can choose to run in those Lion King based decks, as you will be running those cards in your back row. Alright. Double R, where are you? Here we go. The level 1 Bedivere. This is the double R that I was actually looking for that goes with all the other Bedivere cards that we looked at already. All three of these cards climax combo with this one gate climax. And as for Bedivere's climax combo level 1, it's basically a Shizu combo from like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, where on attack you mill the top 2 cards of your deck, add up the levels, and then you get to salvage something that has a level equal or lower than that sum. And in addition, he gets 2,000 power with the climax combo, on top of the 1,000 continuous he gets from his effect, allowing him to reach up to 8k power on offense before any external support. So pretty powerful attacker, allowing you to get costless advantage. Very, very good card, and definitely one of the top picks for a level 1 combo in this set. Now, finishing off with the pack, for our rare, we have level 2 Arash combo. Or Arash, I guess I should say. Arash is a little bit too close to a character that we know from set 1, Babylonia set. Alright. See what else we can pull. We have the level 1 Sanzo. This is a 4K beater if you can top check and hit her marker. So definitely a solid 4K attacker, but what I really like this card for is pretty much the same reason that I liked the level 1 Hassan that we looked at earlier, where during the late game this card scales quite well, being able to make artificial 5-card brainstorms, as well as potentially top checking for your level 3 Lion King to get some big burns. We have climax for our, I believe this is the climax for the Nigocris level 1, and for our uncommons, and then for our rare we have the level 0 Tristan. This is a profile that I'm sure a lot of Mushoku players are very familiar with, as it's the same as the level 0 Rhodesia, being able to costlessly tutor out specific cards from your deck at the cost of hitting yourself for 1 damage. Alright, let's see what else we can get. So far we've only pulled 1 double R, no foils in this half of the box, so maybe we can get a bit more. And there we have, for an SR, we have the foil version of the level 3 Bedivere that we pulled in our first box. Between the 2 boxes, we have pulled 2 copies of the Bedivere. Maybe we could even see a third if we pull the regular version as well. Alright, for our uncommons, and then for our rare, we have Mamoritai Egao. And for the last pack of this half of the box, we do have, I believe this is the card we've been waiting for, the 3/2 Lion King. So this is a very, very powerful card with an on-attack burn effect that's basically like the 3/2 Yo from Love Live Sunshine, if you guys are familiar with that. On attack, you reveal the top card of your deck, and if that card is a Chaldea or Camelot character or the 1/0 ritual event, you get to burn your opponent for X, where X is the level of the revealed card. So obviously, if you play either the level 1 Hassan or the level 0 Sanzo, and you see a high level card on top of your deck in the late game, you don't have to marker that card. You can just leave it on top, and then your Lion King gets some guaranteed burns, so there's very good synergy there. And in addition, using the level 2 Lion King support that we looked at in the first box, let's go ahead and pull that out real quick. So using the level 2 support as well as the level 0 Agravain, you can activate Lion King's effect, pay 2 stock, rest both of these, and then you get to play the 3/2 Lion King from your hand while still at level 2. And so this is the kind of card where you want this to stay on the board and generate as much value as possible over as many turns as possible. And basically, you just want to take advantage of that extra damage and hit your opponent as hard as possible starting from level 2. In addition, she has a climax combo with a choice climax where when you play the climax, if she's in your front row, you get to heal 1, and this allows you to maintain your longevity in the game, making sure that you're not dying, and then you can keep getting those free burns in for as many turns as you possibly can, and just really try to hammer a lead on your opponent. For our uncommons, and for our rare, we have another powerful rare in the level 0 Hassan. This is a card that you could actually run in a set 1 build, as the abilities aren't super trait locked, or at least the first one is not trait locked, where she has an ability similar to like level 0 Soy that you see in That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Dex, or like James Ironwood, where when she's placed on stage from hand, you can discard a card, reveal the top card of your deck, look at the level of that top card, and salvage equal or lower than that level. And because that ability is not trait locked, you could potentially run this in an old build. Okay, let's get right along here to our second foil, and it's actually another foil of a double R card. So this is the foil version of the level 0 Mashu that we saw in our first box. So let's go ahead and pull that out real quick. Here we go. So now we have pulled both the double R and SR version of 2 different double Rs. So pretty nice. So we were able to get basically 12 double Rs in 2 boxes, which is pretty neat. Or actually, no. Yeah. The Nido Chris early play healer. For a second, I thought it was a double R, but that is a rare. So yeah, we basically pulled 12 double Rs in 2 boxes when you think about it. All right, and for our third double R, or 5th, if you want to think of it that way, for our 5th double R of the box, we got another copy of the Da Vinci Brainstorm. Oh, actually didn't even finish this pack after we pulled the Lion King, this was the Lion King pack, right? And we pulled a 3/2 Lancelot, which we have already pulled from our first box. Okay. No rare here, or no double R here. And we have the level 1 Neo Chris combo. Right. And then we have the Sun King's Holy Grail. This is actually an event that it allows you to shrink some of your opponent's characters, and it also has some synergy with an Ozymandias card as well. So if you're playing against decks that are going to be putting out a lot of higher level characters, things like Standby, you could potentially use the Sun King's Holy Grail event to shrink them down to size and make sure that your opponent isn't getting a huge advantage on the board. Level 3 Da Vinci for our rare. This Lancelot's actually a pretty interesting card. So he's basically a 4K clean cut, but he has the condition of needing to marker the 1/0 event underneath him while still at level 0. So that requires you to, not while you're at level 0, but if you want to use it while at level 0, then you have to discard the 1/0 event and then put it underneath him as a marker, as you can't get it out of your hand by just playing it. Okay. And we got another Agravain Brainstorm for our rare. We got 3 packs left with still 2 double Rs to go. So they gotta be in here somewhere. There's one. It's the 3/2 Mashu. So we are pulling a lot of the double Rs that we did not pull from the first box in the second box. So this Mashu has an ability that makes it so that you can force your opponent's characters in front of her to have -3 soul, and then also prevent herself from getting reversed, while also being an 11k power character. And interestingly, her climax combo is actually, I believe, a double combo with the 1-0 Mashu. We actually did just pull the climax for these two in the last pack. So if you want to run a Mashu deck, definitely consider running both of these together with these double climax combo. As always, double climax combo is very, very efficient for your climax slots, being able to get a lot of powerful climax combo abilities into a single deck without wasting extra slots or having to split up your climax lineup. Alright, and for our rare, we have the 2-1 Ozymandias. With one double R left to go, let's see what we can get. So I believe the two that we haven't pulled yet between our two boxes are the Nidokris level 0 and the Sanzo level 1. So hopefully we can pull one of those, we can take a look at it, and then we'll feature the one that we missed at the end of the video in our recap. And it's not in this pack. Although for our rare, we did get a 2-1 Mashu, actually having the basically same climax combo as the other ones, where you have a 3-piece combo, where with this Mashu, you're able to actually just grab the 3-2 Mashu from your waiting room and play it at level 2 by sacrificing herself. And outside of that, she is also a 2k support, so if you're playing a deck where you have the 3-2 Mashu as your top end, you will want to probably have multiple copies of this Mashu so that you can play some to the front row in order to change into the 3-2, as well as have some in your back row to be that level 3 assist. Okay. Or sorry, not from waiting room. I did say waiting room earlier. It summons it from your hand. My bad. Alright, and then finally, for our last pack, is this our last double R? Should be our last double R. And yep, and it is one that we have not yet pulled, the level 1 Sanzo combo. And so this level 1 actually has a pretty similar ability to the Mashu level 1 combo from the first set. And she has a climax combo with gold bar. So the Mashu from the first set has a climax combo where on attack you discard 1, you get to look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 2 Babylonia or Chaldea characters from among them and add them to your hand. And so that gives you more selectivity from the top 4, being able to grab any 2 out of the top 4, but Sanzo's combo is a little bit different. Instead of looking at the top 4 and choosing 2, you look at the top 2, add 1, and then you do it again. So it's a little bit less selective, as you're not able to, like, for example, just take the top 2 cards of your deck and then still be able to mill through 4. But as compensation for that, she does also get plus 2,000 power on attack as part of the combo. So pretty neat card. Definitely nice way to filter out your hand, especially when you're running a deck like the green deck that's going to be running a lot of gold bar climaxes. So you can get those gold bar climaxes out of your hand very, very easily. In addition, being able to costlessly get you card advantage as well as go through the deck. So this is a trait that cards like the level 0 Bedivere also have in common. And for those of you that have been keeping an eye on how we build our decks and how we like to play on the channel, you guys already know that I'm a big fan of those level 1 combos that costlessly mill through the deck. And so these 2 climax combos are right up my alley. So with that, we do have our second box finished. Unfortunately, we did not pull any of those high profile cards, any of those round table rares or SPs, but we can go ahead and take a look at some of those, as we do have some right here. So we'll go ahead and clean up for our recap and be right back with you guys in just a sec. Okay guys, so we're back with a quick recap of everything that we have pulled today. So we were able to pull every single double R between the 2 boxes except for one, and the one that we did not pull was the level 0 Nidokris Resonance. She has a resonance ability similar to cards like Ambush Union or the 1-1 Kaguya support from Kaguya-sama, where you pay 1, you rest herself, and then you reveal a specific card in your hand to look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck, choose one card with Chaldea or Camelot trait from among them, add it to your hand and send the rest to waiting room. And she resonates with the 3/2 Ozymandias. So when you're running a green deck, if you're running the level 0 Ozzy, you're definitely going to want to be running the level 0 Nidokris as well, as she's just a very, very nice source of guaranteed advantage. In addition, she has, for a second ability, act ability, you can pay 1, discard a climax to salvage any character from your waiting room. Another great way to get those extra gold bar climaxes out of your hand. Now, as for our foils, we got 2 SRs of double Rs, so we actually kind of pulled 12 double Rs in these 2 boxes. We got the level 0 Mashu as well as the 3/2 Bedivere early play. And then from our first box, we got the climax, the gate climax for the Bediveres, as well as the 3/2 Nidokris early play. Excuse me. And then over here, we do have to show you guys some roundtable rares as well as SPs. So roundtable rare is essentially this set's replacement for OFR. As you can see, these cards do not have the border around the card text, and they take the border out of the bottom of the cards. And these roundtable rares are, as the name would imply, exclusive to the Knights of the Round Table. So here we have a Mordred level 3. This is the early play healer with some very beautiful alternate art. We have the level 1 Gawain combo that can gain up to 6k power based on the number of cards in your clock. And then we have the Agravain Brainstorm that goes with the Lion King package. So just a few of those to show to you guys. And then of course we have a couple SPs as well. So we have the level 1 Bedivere combo as well as the 3/2 Lion King, Rongominiad herself. And so these 2 cards are actually very, very good in a deck together, and we'll actually be featuring a deck with these 2 cards coming up on the channel very soon. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, case ratios for Fake Grand Order Camelot are basically looking like this. For the most part, you're looking at 3 roundtable rares and 2 SPs per booster case. There obviously may be some boxes or some cases where you see more or less, but for the most part, this is what you should be expecting out of a single case of Fate Grand Order Camelot. So, hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Randall, aka Shizukatz, on the Tressa's Collectibles channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, got something out of this, learned something new. And until next time, we will see you when we move on to our other content for Fate Grand Order. So we're going to be doing some deck profile, some gameplay. So definitely subscribe to the channel, keep on the lookout for that, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.